Hello there, I'm Lloyd Evans. Welcome to the bunker. It's time for another voicemail. Today's voicemail is from an anonymous caller. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Hello, Lloyd. If I could just remain anonymous, that would be great. Thank you. So, first of all, thank you for all your excellent work. Your brilliant videos are just consistently helpful. So, thank you very much. Keep up the good work. My question is, and it's a question that everyone leaving the Jehovah's Witness religion has to deal with at some stage. And it's a huge one. Well, it is for me. It is, Lloyd. Is it better to come out and tell your family and friends that you no longer believe? Or how long do you keep up the charade? I know everyone's case is so different. With my case, I have a huge family and are all active Jehovah's Witnesses. I have an elderly parent, almost 90, and just the pain it's going to cause them. I mean, they're going to be devastated. They're all looking forward to the paradise, and it's so painful for me to know that I'm going to be upsetting them so much to tell them one day that I don't believe it anymore, and hence I keep putting it off. And the problem is it's just hard to lead a really good, happy life because you feel completely disingenuous because you're not real with your family about your beliefs. So it's just a huge one. So any advice and ideas from yourself or others would be appreciated. In fact, Lloyd, I left a video for you back in October 8, 2019. It was a little bit of a crazy video. I don't know if you ever saw it. I was actually in disguise. And I had the same issue. I just realized now it's almost going to be 2 years because it was August when I taped that video, that I've had this exact same situation for almost 2 years. So I've fortunately been successfully fading. I'm not disfellowshipped, and I'm going to make sure I never get disfellowshipped. And it's been almost 2 years living like this. It's just too painful sometimes. I don't know how to approach my family with it, when to do it, and any advice from people who have reasonably successfully told their family with hopefully reasonably good outcomes, I would love to hear. I really would. So that's my question. That's my current predicament. And thanks again for your time, Lloyd. Bye-bye.
Well, thank you so much for your message and for the very generous words of support and praise for the channel. Well, your question, I suppose, is one that many viewers will relate to. It's the age-old question, to fade or not to fade. Only in your case, the question is really, should I continue fading? Because you mentioned that you already have 2 years or nearly 2 years of fading under your belt. And it sounds as though it's not quite working. Or if it were working, you obviously wouldn't be calling in with this question, would you? Now, ultimately, whether to fade or not is a very personal question. There is no blanket answer. It's not like you can fill in a web form and click a button and it will come back with a response that says, yes, you need to do this. Everyone has to navigate this for themselves. So it would be wrong for me to say you ought to do this or you ought to do that. Apart from anything else, I wouldn't want to hold myself accountable for if you went along with a particular course that I recommend and it ends up going disastrously wrong for you. So only you can figure this out. But in your particular case, it sounds as though you have tried the fading or you are trying the fading and it's going less than ideally. And there are a number of problems with fading. Fading is good depending on a variety of factors and variables. Most notably, how connected are you with believing friends and family? To what extent is there expectation on their part for you to fly the flag for Jehovah's Witnesses, or hold a candle for your former religion, or one day return? And there's also the small issue of your former elders continuing to think that they have control over you. So if you're doing anything in your life that they would frown upon, they will see it as their business if it were to come to their attention, which is more likely when you have friends and family who you're still connected with, who are believing, and you're a part of their lives. So fading can be a very mixed blessing, shall we say. It can be fraught with problems. And speaking for myself, I did try fading for a while, and I ultimately disassociated, as I've explained in my book and on this channel. And it was very, very stressful to disassociate. It caused an awful lot of tension in the family. There were lots of heated exchanges. It was very stressful, but ultimately, I'm better off for having done all that, and I would do it all over again. The only thing I would change is I would probably find a way of doing it sooner. Nothing beats being able, in my personal experience, nothing beats being able to be true to yourself, to live according to your own values, and to not have to live a life of pretense, which unfortunately is what fading amounts to in the majority of cases. Again, it's conceivable that you could fade and not really have that many JW connections. So you slip completely off the radar and it makes not a jot of difference to anybody. And it's the perfect crime. But the more connected you are or were with the Jehovah's Witness religion, the more friction there's going to be, the harder it's going to be in terms of effectively leading a double life or leading a life of pretense, and that is going to have a strain or put a strain on your mental health, which it sounds like it already is doing, because you mention that it has been, quote, too painful sometimes. So again, I can't tell you what to do or what not to do. What I have hopefully done is just provide a stream of consciousness and just provide some reaction, some external reaction to your predicament that can help you with your personal process of trying to figure out what happens next. Things are further complicated by the fact that you have a parent who is almost 90. To what extent is this parent dependent on you for support? It's another question entirely as to whether you continue in a religion or continue fading for the sake of parents. I know people very close to me, in fact, who tried that. And I fully sympathize with people who feel as though they owe a debt to their parents in some way. But ultimately, I think that we need to live our own lives. Life is too short. It really is. It can be over very quickly, can't it? Should we minimize our enjoyment of our time on this planet to make our parents feel better when we're grown adults? Tough question. And I wouldn't judge anyone who feels as though they need to make concessions in some way to their parents, particularly elderly parents who are perhaps dependent on them for care. I wouldn't judge anyone for making the best decision that they feel is in their interests. All I would say, or all I can say, is that if you are in a position to make a clean break and live your own life without any pretense, if you are in a position to do that, or you feel you're in a position to do that, mentally or emotionally or otherwise, I can definitely recommend doing so. So I guess that's how I'm answering your question. If you would like to leave a voicemail, the thing to do is visit speakpipe.com/Cedars, remembering to indicate clearly if you don't want me to cover your message on my channel. But that's about all I have time for. Don't forget to subscribe to the Lloyd Evans channel for more such videos. And as always, thank you for watching.